Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Beyond Second Cognition. I'm Beall. The topic of this discussion is mainstream media, the inversion of truth. Anybody that's been watching the major mainstream media outlets, CNN, the three major networks, CBS, NBC, MSNBC, ABC, they've been spoon-fed a narrative that Trump is some kind of Hitler for going on 2 years now. Of late, they have been criticizing, saying that only tyrants take on journalists. And they'll cite Hitler and how they got rid of the journalists that wrote against Hitler, or the communists that pulled down their journalists and replaced it with state media. They're all doing this in order to cover their asses because the threat of a state-controlled media has already taken place in the United States, ladies and gentlemen. Anyone that hasn't figured it out yet is the mainstream media is the mouthpiece for the globalist Marxist agenda. They are the propaganda wing of the Democrat Party. While they're pushing these threats that journalists should be protected using examples like Hitler, they haven't told the American public that the subversion of the news media has already taken place. They are already active propagandists working for the globalist state, and they're fixing to be exposed for it. But the only way they can stay ahead of the fabricated lies that they have been pushing out is to try and hide behind the idea that they are journalists and that Trump is attacking their journalistic integrity, of which they have none. There is no journalistic integrity. They are the apparatchiks of the globalist state media. What they claim that Trump is going to try and do with Hitlerian tactics is actually an inversion of the facts. The fact of the matter is that the media has already been taken over, ladies and gentlemen. It has been a propaganda wing since the CIA came up with Operation Mockingbird back in the 50s. And it's only now being brought out into the daylight. And so they're screaming like stuck pigs because their role as propagandists and subversives is fixing to be exposed. They know that there's probably going to be arrest for subversion and sedition. And so in order to get ahead of this story, they're telling the American people that, we're journalists, and if Trump comes after us, then it's because he's doing a Hitler move on us to squelch journalism. The fact of the matter is, this is an upside-down picture, ladies and gentlemen, because the mainstream media has already been sold out to seditious players, the globalists, who are servers like Hitler's Goebbels was. They are the enemies of the state, but the American public doesn't understand this. They keep trying to hide behind the First Amendment, but they don't have any First Amendment protections when they are serving to undermine the U.S. government and a sitting U.S. president. So they're spewing all these Hitlerian lies and trying to claim that they're sanctimonious and free of any kind of propaganda taint because they know what's coming. While they sit there and complain that Trump is after them over their journalism, they're not journalists. They're propagandists. They are part of the controlled globalist state. But they can only deceive a certain amount of the public by telling this lie. I can guarantee you, before it's all said and done, that some of these people are going to get arrested for sedition, as well they should be. Because what they are trying to tell the public is a threat from President Trump trying to clean out the swamp. The swamp is the media. They're part of the whole tyrannical mess. The socialists have already taken over the media. It's not that Trump is going to insert his own media there. They have already corrupted it. They are already agents of sedition in this country. And the only way that they can keep their necks out of the noose or keep their butts out of the hoosegow for being seditious agents of the globalist Marxist agenda is to try and turn the picture around and invert it, turn it upside down and try and claim that Trump is a Hitler when they have already taken over the media, ladies and gentlemen. They own the media. whatever Trump has to do to arrest some of these seditious people like Joe Scarborough and Mika Brzezinski and Chris Cuomo and Don Lemon and the whole litany of these reporters on these Mockingbird media stations, it's all about self-protection and self-preservation because they are the culprits. They are not journalists in the truest sense of the word. They are not representing free speech. They are propagandists for the globalist Marxist state. And they're scared to death. They're fixing to get caught. And I hope they do. I hope they get tried and imprisoned for a very long time as being seditionists to undermine the U.S. government because they're working against the American people, not just this president, ladies and gentlemen. So when you see the media scream about this stuff, that only Hitler goes after the press and stuff like that, realize the press has already been taken over. What we're trying to do is rectify a Hitlerian type takeover or a Stalinist type takeover of the press to get it back to where journalists like John Solomon and Sarah Carter and other people can actually get back to journalism and truth-telling rather than propagandizing and selling the American people lies to divide this country. So when you hear this stuff, take note that the subversion of the media has already taken place. You're looking at a reversed picture. A Hitlerian type takeover or a Stalinist type takeover has already occurred. The media is the state voice. And in order to fix this corruption and this sedition, people are going to have to be held accountable. So don't let them buffalo you with the lies that they're just journalists and that Trump is trying to perform some type of Stalinist takeover of the media, because the Stalinists have already taken over the media, ladies and gentlemen. They are the lying apparatchiks of the globalist Marxist Party, and the only way we're going to fix journalism in this country is to hold these lying propagandists, these mouthpieces for globalism, accountable and imprison them for their seditious activities. So I'm just putting this out here to let you know that the picture that they're peddling is an upside-down picture. Trump is not going to pull some kind of Hitlerian move and create a fake press, because the fake press is already in place. They're trying to tell America, be afraid of that, but it's already taken place, ladies and gentlemen. The media is the threat. And so when President Trump calls him the enemy of the people, know that he sees the picture the right way up. And I'm only putting this out here so you can see the picture the right way up. These people are not journalists. You go from channel to channel, you listen to what they say, and they're nothing but an echo chamber, a mockingbird press of the Democrat Party and the Socialist Party in this country. They are not journalists. They are lapdogs to the globalist Marxists, plain and simple. And they need to be tried and prosecuted for their seditious activities. They are the enemy of the state. And this is the truth of it. Whether people want to accept it or not, that's their problem. But it's going to have to be rectified, and it's going to have to be rectified with accountability, jury trials, and long prison sentences. For those of you doing the work, stay the course. Don't give up on yourselves.